Our goal for today is to make a name design using your first and last name. For this project, you will need a piece of white computer paper. You will need a pencil to write your name, a marker to trace the letters, and then some colored pencils. You don't need as many as I have here, but just a couple different colors would be great. Our goal is to create a design using our name, our first and last name. We're starting with a wavy line down the middle of the paper, and then we're going to try to make our letters touch the top of the paper and the wavy line. So you want to kind of space them out and make sure that they're really long and skinny, because each letter is going to make a shape that we will color in later. I accidentally was going to skip the I, so this is me erasing part of that to make the I, and then now, of course, the A to spell Olivia. Now for the last name, since Elke is a little bit shorter, I can have maybe a little bit more space in between my letters. And I'm making sure to really make my letters long and skinny, so that there's lots of space. They're evenly spaced out on the page. Once I'm happy with my letter placement, I'm actually going to take a marker and trace over my pencil lines with some nice thick marker lines. Now I use black. You don't have to use black, but I would recommend a darker color so that you can see it. If you'd rather use like a purple or a dark blue or something like that, that would work as well. I'm also adding a border around the outside of my paper just to kind of help frame the pieces for the letters that I will make. So wavy line in the middle, border on the outside, and then now I'm going to use my marker to trace. That border kind of makes it more clear to what spaces you'll be creating with your letters. So you can see I'm really making sure that all of my letters touch the top border and then the middle wavy line. All right, so there's Olivia. And then now I'm tracing over my last name, which is Elke. This is actually my daughter's name, Olivia Elke. And tracing all the letters, making sure the lines are nice and thick. So I'm using kind of the side edge of the thick marker so that those are bold. All right, once I have my letters outlined with marker, I don't need markers anymore. I'm going to switch to colored pencils. Now, if you want to, you can do a pattern. For this, I just kind of picked a bunch of random colors, and you can see I didn't even start way over to the left. I just kind of picked an area to color in. And if you want to do multiple areas like with the same color, like the pink, you can kind of jump around and maybe do a couple of the other sections pink as well. So I didn't really have a rhyme or reason to the colors. I just picked colors that I liked and put next to each other that were a little bit different from each other, like not two shades of yellow right next to each other, but this is where you can kind of get creative and do what you want. If you wanted to, you could make maybe the entire thing using 3 different shades of green. That would be kind of a cool look too, and have just like a light green, a medium green, and a dark green. But I went for a lot of just bright random colors. So I'm basically just going through. You can see I've got a lot of colors to choose from, so I'm just picking a lot of different colors from my colored pencils and am filling in the shapes in the middle of the letters and in between the letters. So every shape that was made with the letters and the outlines has to be a different color. But if you want to, you can do a pattern. So you could do yellow, pink, blue, green, yellow, pink, blue, green. It's up to you. I really want to see you get creative with this. Let your creative juices flow and have fun with coming up with different ways to fill in between your letters. As you can see, I have gone through and filled in between all of my letters. Another element that you could add just for fun is to add some designs in some of your colored areas. So you can see I chose this really light green area and I'm adding kind of a medium green polka dots to the area just to add another layer of fun. This is an optional step. If you want to just leave it colored, you can. But if you want to add maybe just a little bit of extra pizzazz to your work, you can add things like polka dots or stripes or zigzags or whatever you want to kind of add a little bit of extra to your picture. I am using kind of a darker shade of the color that's already in there to add the elements. I didn't want it to be super different. Like this one is a lighter purple and I'm adding kind of like a darker blue because those kind of work well. So it's kind of up to you though as to what you add. I also am not going to add the polka dots or stripes or whatever designs on every single area that I colored in. I'm just kind of picking and choosing a couple different ones to add those little elements to. Here I'm just using a darker red to make triangles inside of like a orangish red. You can see I've kind of added stripes or swirls or lines, some scribble lines. It's kind of whatever you want to do. Have fun with it, get creative, and enjoy. And there you have the finished Olivia Elke masterpiece.